Queen's Lead podcast. I'm your host, Amy Singleton, and as a child of the 80s, I'd love to say Queens rule, but they don't. Queens lead. Being a queen means you are worthy to be a leader of people. The guests on our show do exactly that. They are leading the way in their businesses, families, and communities. They're taking their rightful place in the spotlight, leading and inspiring the developing queens in all of us. Welcome to the Queen's Lead podcast. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Queen's Lead podcast. Today, I am stoked, like literally stoked, to be talking to Dr. Tara Dominguez. She is a pharmacist that is changing the way pharmacy is done. And as a former nurse, I cannot wait to hear your story. Dr. Tara, welcome. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me, Amy. I so appreciate it. I'm thrilled to be here with you.
Oh my gosh. So tell us what I want to dig right in. I want to get into your background, but I want to know right now, what is TD Pharmacy and what are you doing?
So TD Pharmacy Services is a non-dispensing closed-door pharmacy in Oklahoma City. So we don't dispense any medications. So we only offer clinical services to patients and physicians. So it's changing the way the independent pharmacy is being ran. And it's right here in Oklahoma.
Oh, wow. Okay. So tell our listeners that don't know what that means, kind of what that means. And like, I'm a 5-year-old.
Yeah, sure. So we do a lot of point of care testing. So, when COVID hit, we started doing tons and tons of COVID testing. We got into strep and flu and RSV. And then we started doing therapy for COVID as well. Other things we do is work with physicians in their offices to do chronic care management and remote patient monitoring. So helping patients meet their long-term goals of their health needs with their chronic conditions to, de-escalate the medications that they're on, which is what we really need. We need to get people off medications and get them healthy and getting them to lifestyle changes instead of just adding more and more and more, which you as a nurse completely can relate to.
Oh my gosh, not just as a nurse, but I mean, I've been a patient. I have been a recipient. I have an autoimmune disease, many autoimmune diseases. So I have traded out 25 prescription medications in the last few years and are off those. But I mean, explain to the audience what that really means for a patient.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So it's basically, it's a journey for the patient. First they have to really recognize that, hey, they have a problem that needs to be addressed and they are tired of taking another medication for it. And then they want to make lifestyle modifications and lifestyle choices to better their future. So that means, we're going to cut out some sodium in your diet. We're going to cut out all the sugar that you're adding to your diet. And we're really going to focus on the education, month to month, day to day, and go, hey, what were you eating? Let's break it down to the very simple things. Like what were you eating? Here's what your diet was. And here's really where we need to go to get you off this medication. And the rewarding thing is actually getting people, off of 3 or 4 medications, getting them healthy, seeing them lose weight, seeing them more active, seeing them, outside exercising, being with their family, taking those vacations that they have really wanted to take. So it's a super rewarding job.
Yeah. So what caused you to come? I'm assuming you were in a traditional pharmacy type role prior to this.
Yeah. So I was. So I was a supervisor at Integris Baptist Medical Center. So very, very large. If your audience knows in Oklahoma, they know Integris is huge. Yes. So I was at Integris Baptist Medical Center as a supervisor and 2020 hit. And I just got so burned out. I mean, it was just insane. Everyone, was just on edge. Everyone was just coiled up like porcupines, basically.
Yeah.
The whole health system. And I just got so burned out of it. And I was like, I saw these patients, continuously coming back year after, year, the same conditions, you would see them show up in your queue and you're like, hey, I know this person.
Right. That should not be a thing. You should not know hospital admissions by name at a place as big as Baptist. That is ridiculous.
Exactly. Like I could go to their room on rounds and be like, hello, it's me again.
Here's your 100 pills.
Yeah. Can I see your bag of medications? And literally people would bring me boxes, Amy. I mean, like literally boxes of medications, and we would sort through them and I'd be like, okay, here's all these duplicated medications. Here's all this. Like, why are you taking this? Oh, well, this specialist over here gave it to me. Well, what about the specialist over here? What did they think? Well, I haven't talked to them about it, So it's like, I saw this huge, huge need for this space. And I was like, okay, I want to fill this space, but I don't want to just do it, right here. My ultimate goal was to take it on in Oklahoma and go even further than that. And start training other pharmacists how to do this. Like, how can you incorporate this into your practice? Even as a solopreneur, you don't have to have a pharmacy necessarily. You can be a solopreneur and do these things, because pharmacists and medical professionals are so smart. We have all the knowledge to do this. We just have to utilize it.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I cannot. You are speaking my language. And I mean, for the audience that maybe is not familiar with the medical field, you guys, this is huge. There is a huge disconnect between physicians and continuity of patient care. And you go to your primary doctor, and then you have your cardiologist. There was a time I had, I think, about 7 specialists that nobody talked to the other guy or gal.
Oh my God.
How is that serving our people? So you're like the anti-pharmacy pharmacist.
I'm the anti-medication pharmacist. Yeah. Yeah. And I have a whole functional wellness spin on everything too. So it's not just, hey, we're going to throw supplements and stuff at you. Hey, let's get you off your medications. Let's get you tested for, pharmacogenomics. Let's test your genetics to see if you're even on the right medications that you should be on. And then, let's really make sure that this is working for you and get you off of as much as possible. So yeah, so it's a whole different approach.
Completely. I mean, I heard an arborist this morning say, if you're not testing your soil and you're fertilizing your lawn and your trees, you're doing it wrong. You're telling me we're giving our lawns better care than we're giving our bodies?
Absolutely.
No, it is time for change, people.
Yes. Oh, I love it.
Oh my gosh. I love what you're doing. So how did it all start? Like, tell us, what does that look like going from this cushy? I mean, I don't want to say cushy, but people who know around here in Oklahoma, for our national audience here, I mean, Integris is an enormous facility. It's a pretty decent job. They've got great benefits. There's a lot of opportunity. So how terrifying was that to go, I have this idea. Now what?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. It was like, I couldn't unsee it. Once I saw the idea, I was just like, I have to do this. Like, it kept me awake day in, day out,
Ooh,
up all
I
night.
love that.
That's
the good stuff.
I gotta do it, And so I started, in 2020, I was like, okay, I'm gonna start as a consultant and, start building this out. Well, crazy thing. I call the State Board of Pharmacy in Oklahoma and I'm like, hey, this is what I want to do. I hope that you can support me. And they were like, pump the brakes. Stop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Excuse me, ma'am.
I'm like, I know pharmacists all over this country that are doing this from their home or from a physician's office. And they were like, no, if you're going to do this, you have to open a pharmacy. As a pharmacist, you have to go through the pain of actually opening a pharmacy to practice as a pharmacist. You have to work under a license. I'm like terrified, at this point, I'm like, is this really what I want to do? Is this really what's going to happen? And I was just like, I'll find a way. I found a way forever. I did all these things for Integris, which was like you said, it's a huge health system. And I found a way to make it work. And I'm like, I'm going to find a way to make this work because I can't unsee what I saw. So I did it. So I opened a pharmacy, a very small pharmacy, and not, like I said, we don't dispense medications. We don't have the huge computers. You can't walk up and just, come to the counter. It's all, by appointment. But yeah, to get back to kind of your question, I was very terrified because I'm leaving like a very high, well-paying job with amazing benefits to start something I had no clue, but I knew could be so successful. And, when I first started, I was doing both, Amy, cause I was so afraid to take that leap. And I know so many people are afraid to take that leap because they're like, like you said, what ifs, all the benefits that you get. So, it basically took me from, making all these gorgeous gourmet meals every week that I had time to make to eating cans of cream corn. I mean, honestly, like I was just, I couldn't keep up with both of them. So it came to a head and I was like, what am I going to do? Which path am I going to take? And I banked on me. I chose myself.
Yeah, you did. You queen. Oh my God. I love it. You're my new best friend. I just have
I'd love to be your best friend. Me too.
Okay. Sorry guys. We're fangirling over each other a little bit here because it's because I understand the impact that something like this can have. I've lived it from the medical provider side and I've lived it from the patient side. Oh my gosh. So tell us about some of the people you've helped. What kind of impact are you making in these individual lives?
Oh my gosh. I have some of the most amazing patients in the world. I mean, I can't tell you, Amy, they are the best people, especially when COVID hit and like, you couldn't get an appointment with anyone. You couldn't see anyone. People would, call me up. Okay. Hey, do you have a test? Okay, great. Do you have a therapy for that test? Yeah, we'll get you in the same day. I had so many wives call me afterwards and they were like, I am so glad I came to you because you saved my husband's life. Without you, he wouldn't be here. I mean, they would have thrown him, into the ER and said, oh, you don't fit the need, go home. So, oh my gosh. Yeah. I've helped so many people. And then they have became my own, private clients as well for my, functional medicine piece of my pharmacy now. So it's just been so rewarding, to help these people, see them long-term, to get the respect. And, they know they can call me up or text me and I'm going to respond. Unlike, a physician in a really, really busy clinic who, okay, yeah, come see me in, 4 or 5 weeks and I'll take care of your issue. Yeah. So, yeah. So it's been rewarding. And it's been so rewarding to like continue to build up services to help people. So I've been building up, like I told you earlier, like the pharmacogenomics, like the genetic testing. So kind of really getting at like, hey, we've thrown blood pressure medicine at you forever, or blood thinner at you forever. Does it really work? So and a lot of my patients are kind of like, oh, hey, I don't think these things are working for me. So it's just been so rewarding to help these people and continue to build services that provide value and impact to them.
Yeah. So that was the only requirement that the pharmacy board put on you, was like that you have a brick and mortar, basically.
Yeah. Somewhere they can inspect. That was basically it. Yep. They
got to get their feet.
Place. Yep. And I pay my dues.
Yeah.
So, but it's been great though, because out of it has came the ability to have a place to like see these patients too. Like, hey, if they want to come in to my pharmacy area, they can come in. It gives me a space too, to be able to see patients, one-on-one through Zoom and all the technologies of telehealth. So, it was a silver lining, to be honest with you. Like it was painful at first building it up, but now it's been awesome having that space.
Tell me what kind of reception you're receiving from the physicians, from the primary care and other physicians who's maybe you're working in partnership, maybe someone to work against you.
Yeah, actually, it's been great. Like I have quite a few physician partners, and they all enjoy it because their books are so overwhelmed, and too, they have patients who are just always in the office, always having issues. So they're like, hey, can you help me with this patient in this area? And I'm like, okay, yeah, sure. And then I have physicians that refer me people, for testing or things like that. Or like, hey, we know, especially during the height of the Omicron variant, like Tara has monoclonal antibodies, go to her, call her. And I have even physicians as clients. So
that is the key. So listen up. Like if your doctor is doing something, do that thing because they know.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm so interested in the genetic testing. Talk a little bit about like, what can someone uncover that with that genetic testing that can point them in a direction that's valuable?
Right. Yeah. So, pharmacogenomic testing is just expanding. There's a huge market for it. There's a huge need for it. One of the biggest things is depression. So you can actually test medications for depression to see if they're working correctly in your body.
Wait, you mean I don't have to be on it for 6 weeks, change it for another 6 weeks, change it again and change it again?
No, you just do one genetic test.
Holy crap.
Hey, you metabolize this one at a normal rate. This is the one you should be on. Or, hey, you're a poor metabolizer of this. It's just causing side effects. Or you're ultra rapid metabolizer of this, and it's probably not even really, maybe benefiting you. So there's actually like a test that you can use and see, for depression medications. That one's huge. For statin drugs, even. So all of your cholesterol medications, blood pressure medications. I mean, the biggest one, in the cardiology space is Plavix. So, you go in, you get a stent put in your heart, they give you Plavix. Well, what if you can't metabolize that drug? Then you're not keeping your stent open. So, there's so much value in knowing your tests. So even though I don't take any medications, of course I did one, because now if I ever needed a medication, I could say, okay, here's my genetic report. Let me see, what would work the best in my body.
And is that like a one standard test that tests for basically everything, or is it specific to the drug or drug
So
type?
it's one test, and you get this whole profile of medications that how you metabolize them. And then you can just, and they update it, frequently as new tests, come out, and they find out about new drugs. They update your genetic data in the database, and then you get sent basically a new link saying, hey, you have a new test report. So it's
wow,
super valuable. It's so valuable, especially if you're on, multiple medications. I mean, for anyone out there. So, or your parents, and you think about them and the side effects they might be having from their medication, or the benefits they're not getting. So, but really, what I see the biggest benefit is in people who do suffer from depression, who do feel like they're constantly failing medications. Like, it doesn't have to be that way. It's not you. It could just be your genes. And there's nothing we really can do about your genes except for, hack them, basically.
Except for know them, know the information and use it.
Yeah.
I mean, oh my gosh, my mind is blown. I'm so excited about this. This is insane. Imagine taking a box full or bag full of medications to you and saying, all right, let's figure this out together.
Yeah.
So what other service? You mentioned you're expanding the services. What else other than the testing, obviously, is a huge part.
Yeah. So testing, has been huge. And the functional medicine piece is the next big thing that I really am excited about building out and helping people with gut health, because, 70% of your immune system lives in your gut. So if you can fix your gut, you can fix everything else about your body. So that's like one of the services I'm very, very excited to build out. So that, that one is really for anyone who is suffering from any type of, gastrointestinal, disease, disorders, just wanting to have optimal function of their health. Especially as we kind of move through whatever this next phase is in the world, you want to make sure that your immune system is highly boosted.
Yeah. Like, we don't talk about poop enough.
That's true. Exactly.
When you reach your 40s, then you understand, like, oh yeah, that's important.
Yes. And being on like a very good, high quality probiotic, and you can't just go to the store and buy a probiotic. I mean, that is not a one size fits all type of situation. So, there is very advanced testing you can do. You can actually map your whole GI system from start to finish, and see, what's going on. Do you have any, Candida overgrowth, or do you have any, maybe your body is, hyperinflamed. What do you do about that? And where does that start? And how can you fix it through basically supplements and vitamins and food, and what you put in your body, what you put in your environment, your exercise, to change all that, because, long term, you don't want to increase your risk of colorectal cancer.
Yeah. So speak a little bit to that, well, I guess I have two questions kind of. I mean, this is more like a business podcast, but we're going to talk about medicine for a minute. Speak to the diet and the autoimmune piece a little bit.
Yeah. So there's so many foods that can cause inflammation. So I'm sure you are highly aware of that. So yes, so there are so many foods that can cause inflammation in your body that you have to be aware of. And you have to be aware of your triggers. So you could actually get testing done to see if there is food out there that you might be sensitive to or allergic to that is causing inflammation in your gut and in your body, causing you to have hives and rashes that you didn't even know what the cause was. Maybe you're adding another medication to try to treat it, another cream, another ointment. Like, you don't have to do that. You can actually go and get your blood tested and see what you might be sensitive to. So yeah, it's a really, really unique and growing field. So yeah, if you have any food sensitivities or allergies, or you think you might be, there's panels out there you can do that have like hundreds of different foods and environmental allergies that you can test for.
Yeah. So, I mean, what we're putting in our bodies, do you think that is kind of the catalyst for many of the problems that we all suffer from?
Oh, absolutely. All the GMOs, all the pesticides, everything that we are putting in our body is definitely the catalyst, because that's what feeds you. It's what you put it in your body, you make it who you are, what you put out into the world. So yeah, if you sit around and drink, Coke all day and you drink, all these sugary drinks, yeah, your skin isn't going to glow. You're not going to, you're not going to feel great. Your joints are going to be, super inflamed. So yeah, you've got it. What you put in your body is so important. So, I definitely recommend, putting as much organic food and, healthy food in your body, good balance of protein for sure. Not as much meat-based products necessarily, and go with more, plant-based protein.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've noticed as I get older, even just my age alone, I'm kind of craving less meat. And it seems like my body's asking me for more vegetables and the healthier stuff all the time. And I feel better. Imagine that.
Yes, I know. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
We say garbage in, garbage out in our brain, but it's really no different here.
Right
You
here.
put garbage in, it comes out of every pore you have. I mean, it's just garbage.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh my
absolutely.
gosh.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit about building your business. I mean, I know it was really scary and you got the brick and mortar, but what have some of your really big wins and some of your struggles been with doing this thing since in the middle of a pandemic, no less?
Yeah, it's fine. Just start a business in 2020. It's all good.
Fine. We got
Just
this.
do it. Yeah, yeah. I mean, definitely, the regulation piece has been, my biggest challenge by far has been, the regulation of like actually having, to start up a pharmacy. I mean, because you think about the overhead, you go into an independent pharmacy, you think, $4,000, $10,000, to start up, per month to start up this business. I'm like, oh my gosh, can I do it? So, you just find it, you find a way to do it. You become really scrappy. And I mean, the biggest thing, of course, in the beginning was like, oh, am I going to have patience? Am I going to have income?
Yeah.
Is it going to come in? But, at the end of the day, the universe provides for you. You put it out there, what you put out into the universe is what you receive back. So you put out, all the positive and good energy into the universe, it all comes back to you. And that's what I did. I just, I took the leap of faith and said, hey, I'm here for this. This is what I want to do. I'm going to give it a try. Because I know I could always be a pharmacist at the end of the, I could always go back and be a pharmacist in a hospital. I have all those skills there. But if I didn't do this right now, then who knows? Who knows what could happen? So yeah, definitely my biggest wins though have been like all the great people I get to meet, just like you. Like all these amazing, lovely people, pharmacists and other entrepreneurs and business people that I would have never came into contact with, being all closed off in my little office of the world.
Yeah.
So it's been truly eye-opening, and oh my gosh, I feel blessed every day. I wake up feeling so blessed.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a whole nother world coming from the private sector or corporate world, like living like in a hospital. I say living, practically living in a hospital. For me as a business owner, I was like, networking. Why do I want to go meet other people who are doing these other things? I mean, I work with these people, this and that. I didn't understand it, but getting to meet other people that are doing some like amazing things. There are people with really big things going on around here, like you.
Yeah. Oh, there's so many amazing people. Yeah. Oh my gosh. So a little bit about my backstory of where I finally landed in my pharmacy. I'm in a business incubator in Oklahoma.
Okay.
So yeah, so it's like you think about like just an office space, and I put a pharmacy inside an office space and said, "Hey, I'm going to make this work." And so I get to meet all these awesome people from all different backgrounds, right? People making car stereos, people, in the cannabis industry, people, doing podcasts just like you. And I get to meet them all and learn from their experiences. And it's so eye-opening because you do. You feel like you're like in this little bitty bubble of your network of like people in your same profession. And then you're all of a sudden like the world is just open.
Yes, yes. Did you come from a background where your parents entrepreneurial, or were you ever exposed to any type of business ownership in your family?
Yeah, so my grandfather owned a business. Yeah, he had like a landscaping and lawn care service for many, many years. And I would, in the summertime, I'd go help him like, collect money, and I'd watch my grandmother, do books and things like that. So I kind of got a little bit of exposure there, but yeah, not really as much as, a lot of other people have. And in pharmacy school, they do not teach you how to run a business. They don't teach you how to operate a business. It's like, if you want to get out and do that on your own, either you go through an MBA program, or you go into a pharmacy and you kind of learn from another owner. So yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
not really any business background whatsoever, except for what I got at Integris.
Wow. And there's so much opportunity I can't believe they're not teaching that in school. We need to fix that. We need to at least let people know they have options.
Yeah, you don't have to go work at CVS. You don't have to go work at Walgreens. You don't have to go like die in corporate America. You can.
So that's a great segue into your academy. Let's talk a little bit about that. Tell the maybe pharmacists that are listening who are stuck at Walgreens.
Yeah. Yeah. So I have an academy, and I do a couple of things in the academy. So I teach point of care testing to pharmacies. So people who already have a pharmacy and they want to expand on their clinical services and start offering point of care testing. So I have a whole basically, academy webinars, all those things that you can just go in there. It's a year subscription. You can pull out all of your policies, your procedures that you need, operational documents, like how does this run? How should I run it? And then I do like a complete implementation as well. So I actually go to pharmacies and say, hey, let's do this. And I'm going to help you set up, and we're going to walk through step by step on how to do it. And then I also work with, pharmacists who are wanting to be solopreneurs. They want to get out. They want to do something different. They have a great idea, but they're, they just feel a little stuck. And we've all been there. Starting a business is not easy. So I offer VIP coaching as well to pharmacists who really want to, scale their idea and leave the corporate world and get out of the big boxes. So yeah, that has been a blessing. All of it has been, because I just love working with people, sharing my knowledge and helping everyone out.
Yeah. So, man, they're going to have to edit this out because my brain is so full. I don't even know what normal questions I would normally ask because I'm just so blown away. I really am.
Oh, Amy.
Is this something that's been kind of catching on in our nation, or is this, I mean, how prolific or how expansive is this type of model?
So my type of model for a non-dispensing, closed door pharmacy, there aren't a whole lot of us out there, because a lot of pharmacists, they can actually just work from home, and they can do chronic care management, remote patient monitoring, they can do functional medicine consults, online from home, and they don't have to like actually open a pharmacy. But, there's so many benefits that I didn't even think of when I did open a pharmacy, because I can have a full lab there. I can, do tons and tons of testing. But yeah, there's just not a whole lot of people, thinking this way, thinking about like, hey, let's not just go and dispense medications. Let's let the big chains dispense the medications and let's start helping people, get off of the medications. So yeah, but I didn't realize how many people were doing it until I actually started, to do it. But I haven't found a whole lot of people like me.
Yeah. Well, I doubt there are very few people like you anywhere. Your vocation notwithstanding, like not many people like Tara Dominguez right here.
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh. So like now this is kind of selfish of me. Can you just act as people's primary care? I mean, are you like a total like just substitute in, or is it always a partnership type of a situation?
It's always a partnership. Yeah. So, I can give, guidance to people, hey, this is going on. I think you should take something over the counter for it. Hey, let's try a lifestyle modification. But when it gets down to actually, changing medications or changing drug therapy, yeah, it has to be the primary care. But the great thing is that, primary care doctors are really receptive to listening to you if you really sell them on it. So if you have great templates built and you send them off to them like, hey, this is what's happening with this patient. Let me give you a complete, soap note on it. Let's get this done. They go, yeah, sure. Thanks for basically doing my job for me.
That's it. I was going to say, I mean, you're doing their job for them. So yeah. Why would they not? Are you seeing, I know on the coast, this is becoming much more popular, but like the naturopathic doctors and stuff, I think it's kind of just starting to come into Oklahoma. Are they a good partnership with you as well?
They would be. I actually don't know a whole lot of naturopathic doctors. I know some doctors who are doing, functional medicine. They came from the big health systems and they saw the same things I did, day in, day out in the, ER and the hospital. And they're moving into that more, functional wellness piece. But yeah, naturopathic doctors would be a wonderful, wonderful fit with a pharmacist because, at the end of the day, everyone wants to, get people healthier and get them off medications and have a whole, the more holistic approach to medicine.
Yeah. Now for the listeners who don't know the functional medicine piece, can you define that a little more clearly, like kind of just again, I'm 5-year-old sort of way.
You're fine. Yeah. So functional medicine is just getting to the root cause of the ailment. So basically going, hey, what is actually causing you to have this problem? Like you have high blood pressure. Well, instead of saying, oh, Amy, I'm just going to give you, 2 high blood pressure medicines. I'll see you back in 6 months. We go, okay, let's look at your diet. Let's look at your lifestyle choices. Let's make some modifications. What can we do? And let's constantly follow up. Let's not just wait 6 months or a year to follow up. Let's talk in 2 weeks. Let's talk in 4 weeks. Let's see how you're doing. Let's put you on a path to wellness instead of a path to more medication.
Yeah, 100%. And that takes time that our overloaded hospital systems and physicians just don't have.
Right. Yeah. We don't.
Yeah. So partnering with someone like you is ideal.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my gosh. So what if some of the, again, I'm literally speechless. Oh man. God, I'm just so impressed with what you're doing. Where's the incubator at?
It's on 39th and Tulsa in Oklahoma City.
Okay.
So I don't know if you're familiar with Broke Brewery or any of the breweries over there, but it's like right next to Broke, right next to Will Rogers Garden.
Oh, okay. Yeah. What a beautiful space. That's awesome.
Yeah. So right there, like off the highways.
Yeah, that's convenient location. And you're seeing people there, you're seeing your patients there.
Yeah, I see them there. I see them in their home. I see them telehealth too. So yeah, I love going to see people in their house. I mean, it's so rewarding because, not only are you getting to see people, in their natural environment where they're comfortable, but you also can pick up on little things too. Like, hey, why hasn't your dishes been washed, in a couple of days? Are you not feeling well? Are you not getting around as much? Or, hey, your pantry looks a little empty. What have you been eating? Have you been eating out more? Are you trying to, eat in and cook like we talked about? So it does help, going to see people in their natural environment.
Okay. So you're going to homes. I mean, that is full wellness care. Do you find that some people are hesitant to be like, yeah, I know I could just diet and exercise, but because the bottom line is that's the answer many times, I'm assuming, at least the place to start.
Yeah. Yeah. Those simple lifestyle modifications are definitely the answer. But yeah, some people are resistant to it. So it kind of gets down to like, okay, we have to start with baby steps.
Mhm.
What can you do one day a week? What are you willing to try? What can you be
Mhm.
accountable to? And then
Mhm.
just the honesty too of the conversation saying, hey, we're checking in, 2 weeks from now, how many times did you go walk? Well, I really didn't go walk any. Okay. Well, then we need to like find something that you can do inside the house. Cause then the excuses come out like, oh, I didn't walk because it was raining or it was hot. Or it's like, okay, well, let's get you walking up and down these stairs. So it really helps like getting to see people in their natural environment and just having those open and honest conversations, because that really forges trust too.
Yes.
With your patients, where they can come to you and they can go, hey, I know I just bought this supplement or I just did this, but it's not working. I really want it to work for me, but it's just not. Or, hey, you said to cut out all this tea that I've been drinking, but I can't cut out all the tea. What can I do? So yeah, so it's very, very rewarding helping people and just having those conversations. Because when you go see a physician in their office, they're like, okay, here's a list of 20 things you need to stop doing. They give it to you and they never give you a real, path to that wellness.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I know I suffered for many years with extreme mental illness, extreme depression, extreme anxiety. If someone had come into my home and seen what I was going through, hey, there's a lot of dishes on this counter. What's going on? You haven't checked your mail in a week. What's going on? How valuable that could have been, how much quicker my recovery could have been with a partner like that.
Yeah, because you could have those open, difficult conversations in a loving way.
Yeah, that you're unwilling to have with your family or closest friends or other people you shut out. So, wow, not only getting people off their medications, but really giving them a more whole life. Thank you for what you're doing. Oh my gosh. So give our listeners a few tips of things we can do. We know the diet, exercise, but what are some things, like specific things that we can do to start a path toward wellness?
Yeah. So I think really what it is looking at where you want to go, like who you want to be, like you say, okay, I want to lose, 10 pounds. A lot of people, that's some of their goals. I want to lose 10 pounds. I want to make my stomach feel better. These are the end goals. And it's, really taking and starting with those baby steps. Like, what are you willing to give up to get there?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's really the number one thing. Like like the low hanging fruit that, at the end of the day can have the biggest impact. And it's honestly just time too, doing those little things over time and making them part of just your routine. So it's not just, okay, I'm going to do it for 1 week. It's every single day doing that thing. Okay, I went from drinking 4 cups of coffee. Now I drink 2 cups of coffee a day. Okay, well, that's fantastic, and keeping up with that and not ever going back, not ever looking back, only looking forward is really, really the key. Because once you do start cutting out a lot of those things and making it a routine, you don't go and look back. You don't even want them anymore. All the things that you were doing that were harming your body.
Yeah. Once you actually get the feeling that, oh, wow, this is better.
Yeah. 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 And it's no longer, you're no longer going into the break room at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon and filling up your coffee. And then you're wondering why you can't sleep, when it comes 9 o'clock at night. So, yeah. So it's just kind of really looking and being honest with yourself.
Yeah. That's such valuable advice. It's easy to hear, difficult to implement, but if you do it, you can live a better life. Dr. Tara, do we have to give up the coffee? Do we have to give up all the coffee?
No, you can keep coffee.
Hey, I need the coffee.
Not after 2 o'clock.
Okay. 2 cups and not after 2.
Yes. Not after
Okay.
2:00. Yes.
Okay. I think I can commit to that.
Okay, good. I drink coffee till noon and then I have to give it up. So yeah.
Good. Well, oh my gosh, I can't believe this time has gone by so fast. We're just about to the end of our time. So tell the listeners where we can find you. If you have a bag of medication, your mama's got a bag of medication, your neighbor's got a bag of medication, you feel like crap, you want to feel better. This is a lady you need to talk to first and get a partnership with your physician and Dr. Tara Dominguez. Where can we find you?
Yeah. So my website is really simple. It's www.td.care. You can also find me on social media under TD Pharmacy Services on Instagram and Facebook. And then, yeah, you can give me a call anytime, 405-805-6191 to set up an appointment.
Thank you so much for being my guest, Dr. Tara Dominguez. You are fantastic. I am so excited about what you're doing. I think you may have your newest client right here. And, and thank you so much for being a queen that leads.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me on your show.